The art of changing perspective. This will be the topic of today's video, and by using the capabilities of my mind, trying to get a deeper understanding of the topic and maybe even reality itself. Let's see. It is the sign of an educated mind to entertain an idea without accepting it. I'm not sure who said it, but it's a famous quote. And this is pretty much what this will be about here. The art of changing perspective. Yes, so the mind, this jiggly brain in your skull, has certain capabilities, like your body. But as it is with your body too, they need to be trained and understood, to be mastered and then used in the world for your own benefit and hopefully the benefit of many. One of these skills of the mind is changing perspectives. And as you can learn how to run and run faster and longer, the more you use the skill, the better you will be at this specific thing or skill. Okay. So, your mind, in some way, is beyond space and time. And maybe when you were young, a child, and you wanted to time travel, or travel to other places, that you can do at this planet at least, very easily now, comparably. We have developed great technologies, the airplane, trains, cars, so it's easier than ever to move to other places. Other times it's a little bit more difficult, but for your mind this is easy. You do it all the time, every day. You do this. If you remember something from your past, this is a time travel, of course. And if you're planning something for the future, maybe the next party that you want to have, or maybe you want to change your job or whatever, the next vacation, then you already in your mind are making a time travel to the future. That doesn't mean that it will happen, but as you see, some things are more certain than others. And it has something to do with belief and also how deeply you know yourself and what you're capable of, and also your understanding of the laws of the world, of course. Because if we keep simply the travel thing, you want to travel, maybe you are in Europe and you want to travel to another European country, it's not that hard probably. North Korea though, that's a little bit more challenging. Impossible? No, but very difficult, and obviously depending on your resources and skills and so on and so on. Okay. Now, let's do a little time travel. What you can do with your mind, you can change perspective. You can now imagine picking distant time, maybe the antique. For example, we travel with our mind now to ancient Greece. Yes, and now you can imagine yourself to live in this time. Maybe you are in Athena, in the ancient times, and on the Acropolis, and when all the great temples and everything are still standing. And now if you have a good imagination, then you will see something actually. You will see these great temples, how they stood there. Maybe you already have been to the place, so you can even imagine it more accurately, how it would have looked. I had the blessing that I've been, so for me, I have a good picture about how it would maybe have looked. And the more you train it, and also the more you know about the time, then it can be more and more accurate at what you're experiencing. And it is a sort of magic in some way, isn't that beautiful? You can, if you do it very intensely and for a long time, and also if you train the skill, then you will hear people talking maybe. Or you will hear the birds in the sky and the wind blowing, and then maybe you can even smell certain things suddenly that are not there right here in your reality, but your mind is making them up. Isn't that magical. Yeah, and then you can feel yourself even walking up the stairs to this magnificent mountain or hill with all these temples upon it and these great walls and yes, and the statues of the Greek gods, for example. You can also do the same with the future. You can travel a few hundred years into the future with your mind and imagine a world in the future. Now maybe it's possible that you are a little bit hopeless for the future. You see a dark path ahead of us, then maybe a picture of a dystopia comes up, a destroyed world, or we are all forced into slavery by the robots. Yeah, that's one possible path, but you can also imagine a better one. This is what comes up in my mind now is this future idea of solar punk, for example, which, if you don't know it, is a combination of technology that we're having, but it is a very harmonious way of integrating it into society and into the cities that we're having, so that is in some way the completion of the maybe in environmental movement also, but also all these environmental scientists, from renewable energies to the cycle of using goods. So everything that is somehow used will get reused. It's all a cycle, like it is similar to how it's happening in nature. Animals grow, eat and die, and then their bodies will be reused, and it's all the cycle of life, like in The Lion King. And we can simulate this for our own society. And now you can imagine walking through this one of those solar punk cities. So all these nice green buildings, and maybe there's water flowing, and people are very happy and living their life in harmony with nature and also in harmony with each others. And there is the arts flourishing and science flourishing in a very honest way, and who knows, like you will maybe see your own utopia in this sense. Or doesn't have to be this far as an utopia. It can also be just a brighter future. And this is nice, I think. This is a nice thing, and maybe now you did this and you see something, if you have a good imagination, so it makes you a little bit more hopeful, that there is a path that you can follow, that this you can see a future there that you want to be a part of, that you want to experience in the big scheme of things. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that magical that you can do this with your mind? And maybe it's possible that this was very hard for you to do and you didn't see much, or there were only a few thoughts, like a text or language, like a voice in your head that said stuff, but you did not really see pictures or hear some things. You didn't hear the windmills turning. But you can... believe me, no, if you practice it, the more you practice it, the better it will get, and the deeper the picture you will see, and the more vivid it will be in the life. And if you continue, then even the other senses will slowly become part of it. And the way I see it, this is maybe what all the great authors that created these amazing literature pieces that we all know about did. I think this is what you are doing. If you are a real artist in the art of literature, then you're doing this. You're creating worlds out of nothing in some way, or you are experiencing them actually. For example, myself, I like to write too, and sometimes it feels more like I'm experiencing the story myself and just writing down what I'm experiencing, and not so much making it up with my mind. This is different. You can do this too. You can create a story just by logical thinking, but it's not the same what we did in this exercise here. Yes, it's different. It's different because it's way more fluid and easy. This is very little effort with it. You're just writing like you would write down the memories of your last vacation, for example. That's how it feels like. Of course, you need to have the skill of writing. This is another thing you can practice and learn. This is one thing you learn in school normally, but to master it is very difficult and takes a lot of time. The same, of course, with changing perspective. It's simple in its essence, as walking is simple, but to master it, to run a marathon, that is very difficult. It takes a long time to practice. Dedication and hard work. Yes. Okay, now we can use it differently. Now we did time travel. Isn't that amazing? Now you can time travel. Huh? What a nice magical skill to have. You can also do another magical thing. And this is the way I see it, the essence of the occupation of an actress or an actor. What they are doing is they are changing perspective into another life. So you can experience the life of another person. This is also the way I see it, a magical skill, that you can just live another life out of nowhere, go out of your life into another. And also you're doing this all the time. Just put up on Netflix, or maybe you still have DVDs, who knows, if you're a little bit older, your favorite movie. And if you're really immersed, it's easier to do it in the cinema, of course, because the space allows it to flow more easily. But what you're doing then, if it's a movie that you really enjoy, then you're losing yourself in the story. So you will forget about your life, everything, what's happening, what you're doing, your job, your friends, family, it's all gone. And now you're experiencing another life, the life of the characters in the story. And this is the way I see it, of course, also magic, because suddenly you are living another life out of nowhere. Yes. And a good movie, of course, goes so deep into the essence of what it means to be human that then you will have great value out of it. It shapes then the way you see the world and humanity and reality. Now, if you go one step further ahead, you could become an actor yourself. Yeah, and then you are not only viewing it, but you are embodying it. You are embodying another life. This is changing perspective again, changing the perspective of your own life into another. Then you can train this, of course. Before there are lots of great theater plays or movies, and you can just react them. Yeah? For example, your favorite characters from your movies. Just try to reenact a scene, and then you're entering another life. You could also do this, of course, with your friends and families. I used to do this as a fun thing when I was with my friends at one point, with a group of friends, and we were going pretty wild, let's say. And what we did is we acted each other out. So basically, like it was like a play thing, that you just got into the persona of your friend and then try to act like him or like her. It's super fun. I can try it with your friends. It's hilarious to do it, because then you can see all the quirks and the different uniquenesses of their character, and maybe you can even mock them in some way and stuff. It's a fun exercise. But also what you are doing there, it is extremely valuable for your friendships, because you have to put yourself into your friends. And this teaches you a lot more than thinking about it, way more, because it's way more alive. You're becoming them in some way, and then you realize something maybe about them, and then also you can advance your friendship. It's another way of changing a perspective. And if we stick to this occupation or art form of the actor, the actress, then maybe again you think, it's difficult, I cannot do it. This is a difficult thing. That's only why there are so few actors, because it's a difficult thing to learn. But again, I say you're doing this all the time. You already are an actor. You just don't know it yet. Maybe you do, but most likely not. But if you think about it, how do you act when you are with your friends compared to how do you act when you are with your mother or your father or your family, compared to how do you act in your job? And then you will realize that you're not really one person in some way. Huh? Isn't that strange? Because the way you're acting in your job, not your professional self, is not the same as the son or the daughter. It's not the same as the brother or the sister that you are, if you have siblings, and it's not the same as the friend that you are, and also not the same as the lover or the romantic aspect of your personality when you are with your husband or wife or your girlfriend or boyfriend or just dating, of course. Then you will act again differently. So you see, in some way, isn't that strange? No? You are split apart. Huh? You're not really whole. Huh? Interesting, isn't it? And if you compare this to children, for example, like probably the best is when they're like, let's say between 5 and 10, they are very often, if nothing traumatic hopefully happened in their life, then they are very whole normally. So no matter in which circumstances they are, if they are with wherever, whoever, they are always the same whole persona. And then, this is very cute often, or wholesome. Again, the truth lies in the word. Yes, and then of course you could achieve that too, as in your adult life. And if you put all these personas back together in an alchemic process and unite them, then you will be whole again, and then maybe you will be holy. Yes, but as you already realized, this is nearly impossible to achieve. That's why you don't see many holy people walking around. Yeah. But you can strive for it. Maybe this is something that seems to be one thing you want to achieve in your life, to become whole again. But it's a long journey, I can promise that. Okay. So I hope this was useful, helpful, fun, maybe even. And this was a little different than the usual videos I did. Now it was more like a mind skill that I presented. Let's see how this resonates with you. I'm curious, and if you find this, if you have thoughts to it, write them in the comments. And in general, if you like what I'm doing here, then you can consider subscribing, because I enjoy it, and in the future I will do more. Until then, may love and freedom be with you.